Most people believe Emma Carter simply disappeared that night, but the truth hidden inside Westbridge University was far darker than anyone imagined. 11:47 p.m. Heavy rain poured over the silent campus of Westbridge University. Most students had already left, and the old university library was nearly empty. Inside the dimly lit building, 21-year-old Emma Carter sat alone at a table near the back corner. Open books covered the desk, but her attention wasn't on studying anymore. Every few seconds, she nervously checked her phone screen, waiting for a message that never seemed to come. The library lights flickered once. Emma slowly looked toward the dark hallway behind the bookshelves. For a moment, she thought she heard footsteps, soft, slow, deliberate footsteps. But when she looked carefully, the hallway was empty. At exactly 11:52 p.m., Emma suddenly stood up. Her movements became rushed and anxious. She quickly shoved her books into her backpack and walked toward the library exit without speaking to anyone. The security camera above the entrance captured something strange. Just before leaving the building, Emma suddenly stopped walking. She turned around and stared directly into the dark hallway behind her. Her face went pale. The hallway looked completely empty on camera, but Emma appeared terrified, as if someone was standing there watching her. A few seconds later, she hurried outside into the storm. Rain hammered the empty parking lot as cold wind echoed between the buildings. Almost every car was gone except for a black sedan parked near the far corner of the lot with its headlights turned off. Emma slowed down. Her phone vibrated. A new message appeared on the screen. "You should have stayed quiet." Emma froze. She looked around the parking lot in panic, trying to see who sent the message, but nobody was there. The CCTV footage showed her backing away slowly as the rain poured harder around, and suddenly, the camera feed glitched. Static filled the screen. Black and white distortion covered the footage for nearly 7 seconds, and when the camera returned to normal, Emma Carter was gone. Only her backpack remained in the middle of the parking lot. The next morning, campus security discovered the abandoned bag and immediately contacted police. Her wallet was still inside. Her books were untouched. Even her phone had been left behind. But Emma herself had completely vanished. Police searched the entire campus for days. No footprints, no witnesses, no trace of where she went. Then investigators uncovered one final detail that made the case even more disturbing. The last message on Emma's phone still remained open on the screen. "You should have stayed quiet." But when police traced the number, they discovered it had been inactive for over 8 years. And even worse, the number once belonged to a student who disappeared from the same university in 2018. Police thought Emma's disappearance was just another missing person case until they opened the old university records and found a name that should not have existed. The discovery of the inactive phone number immediately changed the entire investigation. Detectives returned to Westbridge University early the next morning and demanded access to old student records. According to archived files, the number once belonged to a former student named Daniel Hayes, a 22-year-old journalism student who mysteriously vanished from the same campus in October 2018. His case had never been solved. No body was ever found. No suspects were arrested. And after a few months, the investigation slowly disappeared from public attention. But what terrified investigators was not the disappearance itself. It was the strange similarity between Daniel's final movements and Emma's. Security footage from 2018 showed Daniel leaving the exact same library at almost the exact same time during a heavy rainstorm. He was also seen stopping near the same parking lot before suddenly disappearing off camera for several seconds due to a technical malfunction. When the footage returned, Daniel was gone. Detective Laura Bennett immediately requested the original CCTV recordings from the 2018 case, but university staff claimed the files had been corrupted years ago. That answer only made the situation more suspicious. Why were both disappearances connected to missing footage? And why did the university seem nervous whenever Daniel's name was mentioned? Later that evening, investigators interviewed Emma's closest friend, Olivia Reed. Nervous and exhausted, Olivia revealed something police had never heard before. According to her, Emma had recently become obsessed with a hidden part of the university campus that students called the lower hall. Most people believed it was just an old campus myth. Supposedly, decades ago, underground maintenance tunnels ran beneath several university buildings before being permanently sealed after a construction accident. but Emma believed the tunnels still existed. Olivia explained that Emma had spent weeks researching old blueprints and abandoned campus records inside the library archives. She even claimed someone had been secretly following her during the past few days. At first, Olivia thought Emma was simply stressed until 3 nights before the disappearance. Emma had sent her a voice message at exactly 2:13 a.m. Police listened carefully as Olivia played the recording. Emma's breathing sounded shaky and terrified. In the background, faint metallic noises echoed through what sounded like a tunnel. Then Emma whispered something that made the entire room go silent. "I think someone lives down here." Suddenly, the audio cut off with a loud banging sound. Detective Bennett immediately asked where the recording came from. Olivia slowly shook her head and answered with trembling hands. "That's the weird part. Emma sent another message right after this." Detective Bennett frowned. "What did it say?" Olivia unlocked her phone and revealed the final text Emma ever sent her. "If anything happens to me, don't let them close the lower hall again." Then, before detectives could ask another question, the lights inside the interview room suddenly flickered twice. Olivia's phone vibrated on the table. A new unknown message had just appeared on her screen. "Stop asking questions." Olivia thought the message was only a warning until she noticed someone standing outside the interrogation room watching her. The moment Olivia received the anonymous text, the atmosphere inside the police station changed completely. Detective Laura Bennett quickly grabbed the phone and examined the message carefully. There was no sender information, no phone number, just 2 chilling words glowing on the screen. "Stop asking questions." Olivia's hands trembled as she whispered, "I told you, someone has been watching us." Detective Bennett immediately ordered officers to trace the message, but within seconds, the screen suddenly went black. Olivia's phone powered itself off. One officer tried turning it back on, but the device was completely dead, even though the battery had been fully charged moments earlier. The room fell silent. Then Detective Bennett noticed something strange. Olivia wasn't looking at the phone anymore. She was staring toward the dark glass window beside the interrogation room door. Her face slowly lost color. "There's someone outside," she whispered. Detective Bennett turned instantly, but the hallway beyond the glass appeared empty. Still, something felt wrong. Bennett stepped outside the room and scanned the corridor carefully. The station was quiet except for the faint buzzing of fluorescent lights overhead. At the far end of the hallway, a janitor's cleaning cart stood abandoned near the elevators. One wheel slowly moved back and forth as if someone had just walked away moments earlier. Bennett approached cautiously, her hand resting near her holster. But when she reached the cart, nobody was there. Then her radio crackled suddenly. "Detective, you need to see this." It was Officer Ramirez from the Digital Forensics lab downstairs. Minutes later, Bennett entered the lab where technicians were analyzing Emma Carter's recovered phone. One of the analysts replayed the corrupted parking lot CCTV footage frame by frame. At first it looked normal. Heavy rain, empty parking lot, Emma backing away in fear. Then the technician paused the footage during the exact moment the static distortion began. Bennett leaned closer to the monitor. Hidden between the distorted frames was something almost impossible to notice in real time. A figure, standing behind Emma near the black sedan. Tall, motionless, its face completely hidden by darkness. "Can you enhance it?" Bennett asked quietly. The technician adjusted the contrast, and the blurry silhouette became slightly clearer. The figure appeared to be wearing an old security uniform. Then the technician froze. "Wait, zoom in on the shoulder patch." The room went silent as the image sharpened just enough to reveal faded university lettering, Westbridge Campus Security. But there was one terrifying problem. The uniform design in the footage hadn't been used by the university in nearly 10 years. Before anyone could speak again, another officer rushed into the lab carrying an old archive box recovered from campus storage. "Detective Bennett," he said nervously, "we found Daniel Hayes' investigation files." Bennett opened the dusty folder carefully. Inside were old witness statements, newspaper clippings, and crime scene photos from 2018. But buried near the bottom was something far more disturbing. A handwritten note from Daniel himself, dated only 3 days before he disappeared. Bennett unfolded the paper slowly and read the final sentence aloud. "If anything happens to me, it's coming from the lower hall." At that exact moment, every computer screen inside the lab suddenly flickered. Then all the monitors went black except one. On the center screen, white text slowly appeared by itself. "You should have left it sealed." Detective Bennett believed someone was hacking the police computers, until the building's oldest security guard recognized the message. The entire digital forensics lab froze as the glowing words remained on the monitor. "You should have left it sealed." No keyboard was connected to the computer. No remote access activity appeared in the system logs. Yet somehow, the message had typed itself onto the screen in real time. Officer Ramirez immediately disconnected the network, thinking a hacker had breached the department servers. But even after the internet connection was cut, the message remained. Detective Laura Bennett stared silently at the screen before finally turning toward the technicians. "I want every camera feed from Westbridge University pulled up right now." Within minutes, multiple live security feeds from the campus appeared across the monitors. Empty hallways, rain-soaked sidewalks, dark classrooms, everything looked normal. Until one camera inside the old library suddenly flickered. A shadow moved across the hallway near the archives section. Bennett leaned closer. "Replay that." The footage rolled backward, frame by frame. The shadow appeared again, tall, thin, almost human, moving unnaturally fast across the corridor before disappearing behind a locked archive door. Officer Ramirez checked the timestamp, 2:14 a.m., the exact same time Emma had sent her disturbing voice message days earlier. Bennett immediately ordered a small team to secure the library before sunrise. But before officers could leave, an elderly security guard slowly stepped into the lab doorway. His name was Walter Green, a night guard who had worked at Westbridge University for over 30 years. His face looked pale the moment he saw the words on the monitor. "That message," he whispered. "I've seen it before." Everyone turned toward him. Bennett quickly asked what he meant. Walter hesitated for several seconds before speaking. "Back in 2011, before they sealed the lower maintenance tunnels, strange things started happening around campus. Students reported hearing voices under the floors. Some claimed they saw people walking through locked hallways at night." He swallowed nervously. "Then one night, a campus worker disappeared. The room became silent." Walter explained that after the worker vanished, university officials secretly closed access to the underground tunnels beneath the library. Officially, they blamed dangerous structural damage caused by an old boiler explosion decades earlier. But according to Walter, that wasn't the real reason. "Something happened down there," he whispered. "Something they never told anyone." Detective Bennett demanded to know why none of this appeared in official records. Walter gave a weak, uneasy smile. "Because the university buried everything." He then revealed one final detail that made everyone uneasy. According to Walter, before every disappearance connected to the campus tunnels, the victims always received strange, anonymous messages warning them to stay quiet. Emma Carter wasn't the first, and Daniel Hayes wasn't the second. There had been others, cases quietly erased from university history. Suddenly, Officer Ramirez interrupted the conversation. "Detective, you need to hear this." He replayed Emma's recovered voice message through enhanced audio software. At first, only static and metallic banging echoed through the speakers. But after filtering the background noise, a second voice slowly emerged beneath Emma's whispering. A low, distorted voice repeating the same sentence over and over again. "Don't let them open the door." The entire room went silent. Then Walter Green backed away from the monitor in terror. "Oh God," he whispered. "That's impossible." Bennett narrowed her eyes. "What is?" Walter's voice shook as he answered. "That voice belongs to the worker who disappeared in 2011. Then suddenly, all the lights inside the lab shut off at once. Darkness swallowed the room, and somewhere deep inside the building, a metallic banging sound echoed through the walls.